Call this meeting to order, Madam Clerk.
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided in accordance with Chapter 231 Public Law 1975.
Let's take a moment of meditation. Thank the Almighty for what we have and what He's going to give us.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Alstino. Here. Commissioner Albright.
Here.
Commissioner Romero. Here. Commissioner Lodes. Present. Commissioner Taylor. Present. Deputy Director Marchand.
Present.
Director Sorrow.
Here.
Do I have a motion and second to open public comment on resolution items only?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Anyone from the public like to come up and speak? Are we opening more than just resolutions now, or are we doing everything at the same time?
No, we have two separate.
Okay. This will be strictly resolutions. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure.
I understand. Thank you very much.
There you
Good
go.
evening. I'm Nancy Ridgway from Upper Deerfield and Fairfield Townships. We have a resolution this evening, 2025-208. It's a resolution approving and ratifying settlement in the litigation matter of Crystal Brown versus Cumberland County in the Superior Court of New Jersey. This is a payment of $310,000. It says that the Board of the Health Department is going to cover the expenses of this. And I know through resolutions that we spent a lot of money for legal on this lawsuit. Does anybody know how much money we spent for the legalities of this lawsuit? And is the Health Department going to reimburse the county for the legal bills?
We'll get that at the end of public comment.
Thank you. I think this is the end of it, though.
We want to make sure. Is there anyone else that would like to come up and speak on resolution? If not, we have a motion to close.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay. Counselor, would you like to address both?
Yeah, I'll give it my best shot, but I'm gonna have to ask for time. I can get a real
Educated
answer for
estimate.
the next meeting.
Right, okay.
But the goal here was that as co-defendants, linked by a shared service agreement with this authority, which is its own taxing authority, the county was going to be a minor player in this. But if at the next meeting I could give you more specifics, I would appreciate it, because I just don't want to
How long ago did this lawsuit?
don't want to throw it
How
down.
long ago did this happen? Just want to.
This lawsuit's probably years old, but it was, the makings of it were ongoing when I got here.
Got it. Okay.
So 5 years plus, it's been a reality that it's been an issue.
Nancy, if you can wait till the next meeting to give you specifics on the numbers, is that all right?
I'll write myself a note.
I would appreciate it being done in public at the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Director, she asked the other question, are we being reimbursed for those legal expenses for the health department?
Well, the health department is paying it because they're their own entity that is.
No, Ms. Ridgway asked, is the legal fees being paid by the health department?
And the part of the answer I said to that is the county was to be a minor player. We were named, so that's part of what I'd like to report on.
So we may end up paying percentage, health
Sure,
department.
you were at the thing. Yep. And as it worked out, in that particular instance, the Superior Court was not in favor of a motion to dismiss in lieu of an answer, which would be the normal way the county would get started in litigation.
Okay, Madam Clerk, continue.
Any department head comments?
Yes, please. Good afternoon,
I'm Jennifer Webb McCrae, Cumberland County Prosecutor. Just wanting to recognize that this week is National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Crime Victims' Rights Week is a national commemoration of, at least in my business, the stakeholders that do not ask to be included in the justice system but are impacted by it as victims. This year's theme is kinship, connecting, and healing, and we are renewing our commitment to serving victims of crimes as we raise awareness of victims' rights and services. So we have created a handout that I have about 10 copies of tonight in Spanish and English regarding some of the services that we access with and victims can access in our community, and we've shared that on our social media page, and we'll be sharing more information about those services and crime victims' rights throughout this week and throughout the month, just to recognize our victims and recognize the many professional services, both government and nonprofit, that serve our victims throughout Cumberland County. With respect to grants, I just want to highlight that we are reimbursing from a CAC grant $46,087 for 2 interview rooms. 3 other interview rooms were paid for from my forfeiture account. In addition to that, tonight we are buying a Faro machine, which is a 3D scanner to use for crime scene scanning, for accident reconstruction, as well as for other types of criminal investigations at a cost of $62,279, again, paid out of our forfeiture account. And then finally, we are extending our lease at the CAC building. We got a grant originally. I had hoped to buy a building. We could never identify a building. I am also going to be able to extend that lease for 1 more year, pay for that out of funding at no cost to the county. I only highlight these things because as we attempt to stay innovative, as we attempt to do things for the county to stay cutting edge, for the most part, I'm having to do that out of forfeiture accounts. Not asking for a pat on the back, but just asking that it be recognized that oftentimes when we do try to stay cutting edge, it's not at the cost of the county. It's off our own steam of solving crimes and taking funds from the bad guys to support the innovation throughout the county. Thank you.
Any other department head? If not, let's close.
Motion to close.
Second.
No, we don't need to do that.
We don't need a motion.
Okay, let's move on.
Resolution 2025-206, resolution awarding a contract for providing sober living pass-through payments, transportation, coordination, and/or programs, activities for family members affected by someone else's opiate use. Bid number 24-57, resubmission. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Alstino.
Yes.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Romero.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor. Yes. Deputy Director Marchand.
Yes.
Director Sorrow.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-207, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for 12-inch by 18-inch U.S. Spearhead stick flags for distribution on veterans' graves at the Cumberland County Veterans Cemetery. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Director, I have a question for you. This is given to our Veterans Administration, our affairs. They handle the flag distribution. Can it be posted how groups can get access to these flags or can contact the veterans? Or can it be made clear that these are being available? And I know there's groups that always do it, but there's other groups that have asked that. Can that be put somewhere that made access?
Well, we can put it on our website as to where you can contact the veteran, give the phone number for the Veterans Office so they can contact them.
Maybe add that to the advertising scroll on the page.
Okay.
Director, if I may, just because I have some involvement in this, most of these are already accounted for our veteran cemetery and then for the veteran cemeteries throughout the county at the different municipalities. So most of these are.
I am on here.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Diana?
Mrs. Pittman, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is Diana Pittman, Director of Veterans Affairs.
So all the flags that are in that purchase order are already allocated. We ordered 17,000 flags, and they will be distributed at the end of April. We have contacts for all of the groups that put out at all the cemeteries. If there's other groups that want to do it, we would need to know what cemetery they are trying to cover, because as far as we know, we have all of the cemeteries covered.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Diana.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Commissioner Alstino.
Yes.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Romero.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Director Marchand.
Yes.
Director Sorrow.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-208, resolution approving and ratifying settlement in the litigation matter of Crystal Brown versus Cumberland County et al., Superior Court of New Jersey, Law Division, Cumberland County, docket number CUN-L00438-21. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Alstino.
Yes.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Before I vote, I just want to say that this is, and I know it was pointed out by one of the speakers, Mike, but this has been an ongoing, long-term problem that was deemed that we had to take, action we had to take, and the health department took the point. We were named in it. It wasn't something we wanted, but it was a problem that had to be dealt with, and it took a long time to deal with it. And I believe the health department is the benefactor of this, the end of this, making, I don't want to say too much, but the bottom line is that the work environment is probably a lot better because of this. So it sucks because it's that amount of money, but it was money well spent in the long run. So, and a lot of things were tried before this to try to alleviate a problem, and none of them took. So I think thanks, and I vote yes.
Commissioner Romero.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Director Marchand.
Yes.
Director Sorrow.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-209, resolution authorizing payment of bills. Do I have a motion and
I'll
second?
make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Alstino.
Yes.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Romero.
Yes.
Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Director Marchand.
Yes.
Director Sorrow.
Yes.
Consent agenda resolutions. 15909, resolution authorizing grant agreements with the New Jersey Department of Military and Veterans Affairs for transportation services for veterans. 15897, resolution authorizing the submission and acceptance of child advocacy development grants, treatment services, programs, technology, and capital improvements for the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. 15912, resolution amending 2024-649, resolution authorizing approval to exercise renewal of a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department Human Services Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the Community Peer Recovery Center Grant Program, number 25-958, ADA-0. 15914, resolution authorizing approval to submit grant application and to execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, LIHEAP CWA Administration Grant. 15919, resolution authorizing renewal of an annual plan for the Cumberland County Municipal Alliance for the Prevention of Substance Use Disorder Program for fiscal year 2026. 15920, resolution authorizing grant application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the Local Efficiency Achievement Program LEAP Fellowship Grant. 15923, resolution amending 2024-481 and 2024-717, resolution authorizing application to an agreement with the State of New Jersey Department of Human Services Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the Community Peer Recovery Center Grant Program. 15924, resolution authorizing acceptance and execution of a grant agreement for the state fiscal year 2025 alternative responses to reduce instances of violence and escalation together critical incident model grant program. 15928, resolution authorizing approval to submit a grant application and to execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Universal Service Fund Administration Grant. 15894, resolution declaring various electronics from the Office of Veterans Affairs as unneeded and surplus property and authorizing it to be recycled by the CCIA as e-waste. 15903, resolution amending resolution 2025-135, authorizing the submission of a grant application to the New Jersey Department of State Division of Elections for the mail-in voter education program grant. 15905, resolution authorizing and approving additional temporary budget appropriations in the amount of $168,333. 15906, resolution authorizing purchase from New Jersey State contract vendor for network preventative maintenance level 1 Astro support on-site infrastructure response standard Astro dispatch service for the county 911 emergency communications. 15911, resolution exercising first and final option to renew contract for providing fire alarm, sprinkler, clean agent, and kitchen suppression system inspection services and as-needed repairs at various Cumberland County buildings, bid number 23-15. 15916, resolution authorizing the reimbursement of prosecutors' forfeiture trust account for PO 24-06299 for installation and maintenance of 2 Axon interview room camera systems at Child Advocacy Center, 14 East Commerce Street. 15917, resolution exercising second and final option to renew contract for providing grant writing and related consultant services for the County of Cumberland, RFP number 23-07, resubmission. 15921, resolution authorizing purchase of one future V65T chassis-mounted street sweeper with JCB 74 HP tier auxiliary engine and other standard equipment and warranties for the Cumberland County Department of Public Works from national contract vendor. 15922, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for grave marker realignments at the Cumberland County Veterans Cemetery. 15929, resolution approving change order number 1 to contract for specifications for the replacement of structure 06V0058 East Chestnut Avenue over Panther Branch, City of Vineland, County of Cumberland, New Jersey, bid number 24-17. 15930, resolution authorizing purchase from the New Jersey State contract vendor for Panasonic tough books with associated accessories and warranties for the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office. 15931, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for 3D scanner with accessories for the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office. 15935, resolution authorizing an agreement between the counties of Cumberland, Cape May, and Atlantic and the State of New Jersey Office of the Chief State Medical Examiner for regional medical examiner services. 15937, resolution authorizing execution of a lease extension agreement on behalf of the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office for 14-16 East Commerce Street, Bridgeton. 15938, resolution exercising option to extend the shared services agreement with the Cumberland County Improvement Authority for the purpose of transfer of unneeded, unused consumer electronics for an additional 2-year period. 15941, resolution declaring May 2025 as Older Americans Month in Cumberland County. 15942, resolution authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for providing professional legal services to Cumberland County to provide grievance hearing officer services. 15940, resolution authorizing the use of competitive contracting for providing one-stop career services, WIOA Title 1B, adult dislocated worker and youth services for the County of Salem via the Cumberland-Salem Workforce Development Board. 15939, resolution auzing memorandum of understanding between the Cumberland County, Cumberland Area Transit System, and Eastern Pacific Development. And there are several resolutions that are placeholders.
Which we really won't read until
Right.
next meeting.
Right, we'll read
when we
them.
have all the information,
Yep.
correct? Okay.
Director, can we ask questions on some of this stuff?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. What would you-
this is to the prosecutor on the 3D scanner. Did you have a chance to talk to the college at all? Because they have a 3D printer over there that it's not used as much as it should, and there's students there to learn a skill. I don't know if you ever communicated that, maybe, I won't say no to this, but that maybe that you could combine with them because they can learn a skill using that system.
So the 3D scanner is different than a printer. The scanner it's like a machine. It sits in a fixed location. It scans a crime scene, and then it can give you, based on a frame of reference, it will give you measurements and things that we will then use in courtrooms to prove cases. But I can tell you that we just participated in the Coffee with a Cop event at the college with the law, I don't know what they call it, I think it's Law and Justice Department, and we were encouraging students there to come intern at the office and do a stint with our crime scene investigators.
Do you already invite other students in? Is it the first time or this?
We regularly have approximately 4 interns each semester.
From our local community college? And
Many of them come from the college, many of them come from Rowan or Stockton as well. I anticipate that as there's more students in the 3+1 program, because most students do their internships either their junior or senior year, we will get more from the college.
Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Prosecutor.
And that building you have is the building right along the river, right? Sorry about that. So
Yes, it's 1416 East Commerce Street. It's located in the old public defender building where I started my career. I encourage anyone who would like to come visit. It's a place when a child is under 13 years of age. Best practices are that they never go into a police station because children can be easily influenced by authority. So if a child is a victim of either abuse and neglect or sexual assault, we take them to the Child Advocacy Center along with the police officers, and there are specially trained officers who ask the questions to interview child witnesses. Also, with the help of Public Works, we were able to build a mock courtroom in one of the offices. So when we prep child victims for court, we are able to take them there, so the first time that they testify, they're not walking into a courtroom with the 12 people in the jury. They know what to expect, and it just makes them a little bit more comfortable. We did get a grant for over $200,000 at one point. I did my best to try to find and identify a building to purchase. We spent 5 years of rent, and this is my third year, I think, John, right, where I'm paying approximately $40,000 a year to rent a building rather than purchase a building, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me long-term. At this point, all 21 counties have a child advocacy center. I have been lucky to be able to find this money, but it would be a sad day when Cumberland County was the county that did not have a child advocacy center because we were not able to identify a building.
How much square feet is there in that building?
This is not my forte, but I know if I'm counting offices, there's a large communal area, there are 2 interview rooms, there's an MDT conference room, and there are, I would say, 4 offices. So it's a pretty large space. We just have the first floor, and UAG has the second and third floor of that building.
We took this up, didn't we take this up one time, the idea of purchasing when it was a bankruptcy or that somebody
Yes.
given up?
Yes,
Purchasing the whole building.
that is correct. Thank you.
Any other questions?
How many street sweepers are we going to have after we purchase this? If we purchase this one, 2. This will be the third one or the second one?
Speaking to
It'll be the second one.
Second one.
The one we currently have is 13 years old.
Okay. And I guess this is for John Carr. Is this the transit, the CATS program always if it's actually the senior, the Department of Aging person, we always have to sign agreements with the different like Eastern Pacific Development. I think we did one, Oak something.
Barbara will be able to answer that. I asked her that question before we started.
And what are we providing for that service?
Good evening, Barbara Nettahan, Director of the Office on Aging. Now, this is something new. Eastern Pacific is doing the application to DCA for the tax credits to build the 3rd senior housing there at the old Newcomb complex. And part of that requirement now is instead of just a letter from me stating that the residents will have access to the transportation system, they do require a memorandum of understanding at this point with their new guidelines at DCA.
So there's no commitment for us at all because we're going to service them anyway.
We're going to service them anyway, right? It's what we do. It's public transportation, so it's demand response, so they do have access to the bus.
Thank you, Barbara.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I just want to make a comment about the properties. We've done a study, we're putting it together, of all the properties that the county has, either own or rents. This wasn't done before, and the reason why we're doing this, we're trying to figure out how to stop what's going on right now. We're renting a lot of properties out of houses for whatever reason the mindset was back then. I could never understand. But what we're doing is we're working towards trying to have one complex where we can house a number of the offices and the departments. Of course, Public Works will stay on its own, DOS would stay on its own. John, what else do we figure? Elections, that's about it. But the point I'm getting at is that whatever the mindset was back then to have all these offices all over the county in houses, and that's what they are, the houses or business buildings, was very, very foolish. I'm going to put it that way. So we are working on trying to get that. So if you have to ask a question of another department, you go down the hallway instead of going across the county. So these are the different things that we're working on. And a lot of times people say, well, what are you working on? We don't know. Well, this is one of them. Between that and the vehicles that the county owns, we're trying to figure out why we have so many vehicles and why they were out there. So we're working on that also. So these are different things that we're working on, but I just wanted to address that to the prosecutor, that we are trying to figure out how to go about putting not everybody, but a good portion of the county under one roof. That's it. Thank you. Madam.
Do I have a motion and second to open public comment on new business only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the county wish to speak on new business?
Sandy Acevedo, Upper Deerfield Township. I just had a question on the 15932 for the voting machine programming, testing, and support. Is that from the same vendor that we've always used, or is it a new vendor? Or?
That one I'm going to need help with, I'll be honest with you.
And that was it. Thank you.
He's here.
If you...
Yes,
right now.
Same vendor?
Yes, same vendor.
Any other individual?
Yes.
Nancy Ridgway again from Upper Deerfield and Fairfield Townships. I was very happy to hear that you're looking into consolidating your buildings. I've been questioning that for a long time. And years ago, the public was given a list of all the buildings that the county owned. So it's not like you're doing something that wasn't done once before. And I have been advocating for the cement pad to become the county jail on the lower level. And Bridgeton has a fire truck that can go 110 stories, and you could build up with your office buildings. And we're paying rent on that cement pad. We just spent a whole lot of money looking into having another jail built in another county and doing a consolidated shared service agreement. And I was happy to hear what you said this evening, so it's about time that somebody stood up and said something positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Richard. You're still on resolutions?
No.
Or is this public?
It's open.
It's open.
Good evening, my name is Nicholas Haynes. For those of you that don't know, June 21st, 2024, I was in a terrible accident in downtownship. The roadway in Maple Avenue had collapsed from underneath me while I was driving on it. It then sent me and my truck into the water. That day, I lost my truck. I lost a lot of tools for my business that I had just opened, and I lost means of transportation for a while. I couldn't get my kids. I had to rely on my mom, my stepfather, Mike Rothman, to pick my kids up for me. Since then, I learned that it was a township road and a county pipe underneath drainage system. So for about the last 10 months, we've been trying to figure out how to deal with this. The township has graciously straightened their part of it out with me. What I'm here in front of you to find out is the county has not settled with me yet. So I've kind of gotten a runaround. I think for about the last 10 months, one of you guys have been sick, as I was told, every week. So I'm sorry to hear that from you guys. But I'm basically standing in front of you to try to get my own answers and kind of just figure out where to go from here. I did sit with Kevin about a week ago. I didn't really get anywhere with it. So like I said, I'm standing in front of you guys, kind of making you aware of what happened. And I'm just looking to get it settled. I'm not really looking to start any trouble or go with a lawyer if I do not have to. I was trying to make this as peaceful as possible. In those 10 months, you guys also had a fatality in Haleyville involving a dump truck. So I was asked to basically stay quiet and not speak on this matter, which is probably why most of you are not seeing my face until today. But like I said, I'm just concerned, and I'm just trying to figure out what steps need to be taken and who that I need to talk to try to get this resolved in the easiest way possible. So I was also told that the county did not have any knowledge of the prior road damage. As I've learned, that they have known for about 5 to 6 years that the roadway was damaged and didn't do a thing about it. So thank God it was me. Thank God that Mike was my father and everything got pushed under the rug, but I could have gotten hurt. I could have lost my life. That could have been someone else. And that drainage system has also killed 2 people that drowned there. So I think it's time that this is talked about and something needs to be done about it. I also think at this point in time, 10 months later, I am due some type of reimbursement. I was out of truck. I've had to basically front everything out of my own pocket, and I'm just basically looking to some type of resolution as to how I can get reimbursed and how we can fix that roadway so that it's safe for everyone to go down there. It's used a lot for crabbing. There's kids that go down there. There's elderly people that have lived in this neighborhood for a very long time, and I just think it's something that needs to be discussed and something that needs to be handled in a more timely manner than it has been in the last 6 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nikki Rothman. I am Nicholas's mother. To get that phone call early in the morning and to hear my son's voice, I could tell he was visibly shaken. I mean, I could hear it in his voice. As soon as the phone rang at that time of morning, my stomach just dropped. It was absolutely horrible. He actually lost service when the phone call ended. As he was talking to me, in my mind, all I could picture was that he got sucked into that pipe and he had drowned. It was absolutely the worst 10 minutes of my life. He ended up calling me, once people started coming down, he ended up calling me from someone else's phone to let me know he was okay. I have been a resident of Dividing Creek my whole entire life. I have known the problems on that road. I have known about the drownings. I have known about that the county was notified of this issue with the road for at least 5 to 6 years, and still nothing has been done. I am lucky that my son is here and that I can stand up here and talk about this instead of mourning the loss of him. Because I brought pictures with me. I don't know if you can see from there. They're very scary. It was dark when the road collapsed underneath his entire pickup truck. He got thrown over the guardrail into the water. God was looking out for him that day, that's all I can say. The only other thing I wanted to say in closing that I want everyone to think about is, what if it was your child? What if it was your son or daughter that this happened to? Would we still be waiting 10 months to get some type of resolution? This is absolutely unacceptable to me. Thank you for your time.
My turn, I guess. As many of you know, my name is Mike Rothman. Thank you, committee, for allowing us to speak here. Thank you, the public, for being here. I'm going to speak in two different frames here. One, I'm going to speak to you as mayor of Down Township. The second thing, I'm going to speak to you as a parent. As mayor of Down Township, I feel that I have to give the services to my residents, my constituents, the care and the attention that they need. What Down Township did in this situation was address it immediately. We mitigated a lawsuit, and we settled between the township and the individual. I'm going to start off by saying this real quick. If that wasn't my son, if it was Joe Smith from Greenwich that went through that bridge, I would be standing here right now with the same conviction and the same passion that I have right now, demanding something be done. All right? I'm not quite sure where to go with all this. So we're going to start with Kevin. You and I have talked a few times, Kevin, on this subject, haven't we? On the phone and in person, correct? That's a good answer. Thank you. Through these conversations, Kevin, you and I have talked about many subjects regarding this. I've asked you many times to try and resolve this. I've texted you, I've called you, and I've walked into your office. You and I have talked about this, and every time you and I talk about it, we'll take care of it. Nothing has been done in 10 months. This morning, did you or did you not talk to my son? Okay, good answer. What was said during that conversation this morning? Did you or did you not say that you are too busy and don't have time to deal with this today? Good answer. Thank you. That's all I needed to know from you. Now, as a father, just like my wife just said, I could be standing here grieving the loss of our son. I could have buried him 10 months ago. We're not. I am here to ask for a solution to this. I don't believe in lawsuits. I believe things can be handled outside of that. It is absurd that we've gotten to this point right now as a father that I am standing here. I have come here and I have absolutely asked to resolve this to no end, to no anything. 10 months. It's doing what's right. Is there 6 years of documentation? We have been through 3 different superintendents of public works. John Moot, Neil Riley, Kevin, Doug Whitaker is aware of this, Uri is aware of this. I personally have pulled people out of that creek. Personally, as a member of my rescue squad, as the person that answers this pager when it goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm the one that goes there to pull people out. That morning, with the pictures that my wife had, I was there at 5 o'clock in the morning, thankful, grateful, and blessed that I did not have to pull my son's body out of that water. Think about that for a minute. 6 years this county has known about it. I've known about it for 6 years. I'm not putting anybody under the bus, but there was somebody in this room that was my solicitor at the time. He can vouch for how long this problem has been going on. There may not be emails back and forth. There may not be that kind of documentation, but in my world, if I can pick up a phone and call any one of you or the director of public works for this county, I expect an answer, and they're the conversations that I've had. And yes, I am mixing a little bit of dad and the mayor in me, and I am not happy. Can you imagine the loss of your child? Unfortunately, I have had the displeasure of burying a spouse. My wife, who died 12 years ago, I could not even fathom the idea of burying my child. I couldn't begin to come up with the idea of that. So we've gotten through all that, and the last question that I'm going to ask, and not probably get the same answer that I just got from Kevin. How many of the commissioners know that a settlement was offered or discussions were asked to try and end this quietly out of the respect to the county due to the fatality. How many of you were told that I personally was here, that my son was here? Nobody? With that, thank you very much for your time. On another note, I applaud all of you for looking at a building to house all the county services. That's a good job.
Anyone else would like to?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just to the extent that you'd like to discuss it is, at this point, litigation, and it has been added to your executive session for discussion, which is what would be appropriate to discuss.
All right, thank you.
Executive session.
Madam Clerk, please.
Resolution 2025-210, resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with provisions of the New Jersey Senator Byron M. Bear Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-12, matters relating to litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege, matters relating to employment relationship. Do I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Alstino.
Yes.
Commissioner Albrecht.
Yes.
Commissioner Romero. Commissioner Lodes.
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Director Marchand.
Yes.
Director Sorrow.
Yes.
It is not anticipated that there be any action taken after.
Director, can I make a comment before we go into closed session?
Not really. Derek, is it real board?
I just wanted to comment to the family that came here to speak tonight. I just want to thank Rothman and Haynes' family for coming here tonight. Mr. Haynes, I'm glad that you were okay, and I echo the sentiments of your parents. I'm glad that we're here discussing fixing a road and not mourning your loss. So thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. I believe many of us were not aware of some of the things that were brought to our attention tonight. As a public servant, Mayor Rothman, you mentioned that you're mixing a little bit of the dad and the public servant, and that's what we all do. As a parent, as somebody who has lost a loved one very close to me, a spouse, I echo those feelings as well, and I couldn't imagine thinking about losing a child. So as a public servant, the reason that we are here is to keep our families, our friends, our neighbors, and our community safe. And I can promise you that from here on out, we're going to continue to do that. Thank you.
Yes. I'll take executive session.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.